So this is the iPhone 12, Apple's 2020 mainline smartphone, and here's the 12 Pro, its flagship counterpart. In 2023, the iPhone 12 is still sold new by Apple for around $500. However, for that price on the used market, you can get one of these. So, which of these two phones should you actually buy in 2023? Let's find out. First off, as always, let's talk about the specs. The iPhone 12 and 12 Pro both feature that Apple A14 Bionic processor, which is nice to see. 4GB of RAM on the iPhone 12 and 6 on the iPhone 12 Pro, so a substantial upgrade there. Both feature variable storage options, with the iPhone 12 having 64, 128, and 256 gig options, whereas the iPhone 12 Pro starts at 128, going through 256, and capping out at 512 gigabytes. Both come in lots of funky colors, the iPhone 12 having more of them, but both coming in the standard black and white. The iPhone 12 weighs in at 162 grams, whereas the iPhone 12 Pro weighs in at 189 grams. And as for the key specs, that's pretty much it. Of course, we are going to be discussing things like screen resolution and battery size later on, but for now, I wanted to get those key specs out of the way as soon as possible. So as always, we can get down to the really fun stuff. Moving on, we have the build quality and the button layout. On the surface, these phones do look very similar. However, on the iPhone 12, you get that frosted glass instead of clear glass, along with a stainless steel bezel instead of an aluminium bezel, which you get on the iPhone 12. Both phones are built to an incredibly high standard. They both feature that new squared off design that was introduced in this generation. They also both feature that ceramic shield technology, again, also introduced in this generation. And this essentially means that if you drop your phone, it is much less likely that you will crack it. I have had several ceramic shield iPhones before, and I've only ever broken one. I mean, that thing was basically split in half, so yeah, it probably was gonna break. But in general, I've found ceramic shield to actually be pretty reliable. Both feature an IP68 water resistance rating for some added protection against the elements, which is, again, always nice to see. And overall, the design and the build quality of both these two phones is absolutely stellar. All in all, I do think, in my opinion, the iPhone 12 Pro does just feel a little bit more premium, especially due to that stainless steel bezel and frosted glass. But again, both phones feel excellent. In terms of the button layout, well, to be honest, they both feature exactly the same button layout. It's been the same since it was introduced in the iPhone 10, but that's not to say this is necessarily a bad thing. This means you get a nice big isolated lock button, volume up and volume down buttons, and that ever useful mute switch. On the iPhone 12, as is common with aluminium bezel iPhones, the buttons do just feel a little bit more clicky here, which is weird, I know. I don't know why this is the case, it's just something I've noticed over the years of using these phones. But yeah, everything's mapped out nicely, all the buttons are nice and clicky all this time later, and yeah, realistically, don't have any complaints here. Overall, despite the fact that the Pro iPhone costs significantly more at launch, in 2023, both phones do look and feel incredible. The iPhone 12's age only really being given away by its camera design, and the 12 Pro only really being given away by the fact that it has a notch. So yeah, in my opinion, the design and the build quality of both of these phones is actually pretty amazing. Following on, we have these screens. Both phones feature a Super Retina XDR OLED display with a resolution of 1170 by 2532, and both look absolutely stunning. They both feature a PPI of 460, so both look nice and crisp with no visible pixels at the distance you'd use them, and this leads to a really nice experience. Because they're both OLED, you get loads of contrast with dark shadows and bright highlights, and this looks amazing. In terms of brightness, I've never had an issue with either. Both get nice and bright to the point where I've never struggled to see either phone in any environment I've used them. I took the iPhone 12 on a holiday with me a while back, in fact, and I never found myself struggling for brightness. Both phones feature True Tone, which works nicely on each, and Haptic Touch as the secondary interaction method. Haptic Touch is time-based compared to the older 3D Touch, which was pressure-based. I personally do still think that's a little bit cooler. Kinda wish Apple would bring that technology back, but nevertheless, it works great, so you can get to those hidden features much faster. Overall, both phone screens are basically identical. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The screens are a nice crowd-pleasing size of 6.1 inches, both have OLED, and if you don't mind about the 60Hz refresh rate, then I struggle to see any negatives with these phone screens. Following on, we have Face ID, and to put it bluntly, both work great. Both have those expanded angles that we initially saw introduced on the iPhone 11, and this essentially means that you can unlock your phone from several angles, and you don't necessarily have to point it directly at your face. Both systems are snappy, work well in all lighting conditions, and overall, this is kind of what you want out of a biometric system. And honestly, would we expect any less? Like, if you buy a modern iPhone and it's got Face ID, chances are it's gonna work well. Next up, we have an area where there is pretty clearly a big difference. the camera. On the surface, it kind of just looks like Apple slapped an f2 telephoto lens to the same f1.6 wide and f2.2 ultra wide lenses that we also saw on the iPhone 12, but the iPhone 12 Pro does have some seriously cool tech under the hood. So let's take a look at some photos. Both take nice photos with good levels of sharpness, saturation, and dynamic range, and some nice color science, while both unfortunately have the same issue of the ultra wide having a little bit of distortion around the edges, but nothing I can't look over. However, the iPhone 12 Pro features 3 key things that mean it absolutely excels in this category: Deep Fusion, Apple DNG RAW, and a telephoto lens. Deep Fusion essentially means that your photos look sharper and higher resolution. It's truly amazing how well this works. DNG RAW photos mean that nerds like me can edit our photos to our heart's content without losing detail when we adjust things like the exposure, and the telephoto just makes portraits pop that much more. So if you are a keen mobile photographer, then these 3 differences probably will sway you. I know they certainly did me. Both phones feature night mode, again on all angles, and here they perform about the same actually. If you were to push me, I would say the iPhone 12 Pro does look a little bit better generally, but overall I found it looks good on the selfie camera, telephoto, and wide lenses, while the ultra wide does look a little bit worse. Not necessarily unusable, but significantly worse than the rest of the angles. The selfie camera also looks to be identical on both, with a 12 megapixel f2.2 camera. It's got good dynamic range, it's sharp enough, and the color science is really nice. So overall, selfies look really nice. Okay, so in terms of photos, there is a clear winner here. I think it's the iPhone 12 Pro. I think that's kind of obvious, but what about for video? Both phones shoot 4K in up to 60 FPS on all cameras, with Dolby Vision HDR in up to 60 FPS, and the video off these phones looks absolutely great for iPhone video. Dynamic range is good again, with Dolby Vision HDR, amazing stabilization, and overall a very clean video. Both phones also do shoot slow motion in 1080p 240 FPS, and this looks okay. Certainly not as good as the 4K, but it's nice it's there all the same. Overall, I think it is kind of clear that there is a pretty big difference in terms of the cameras here. On the video side of things, I do think it is relatively close, but if you are an enthusiast mobile photographer like I am, then the iPhone 12 Pro is definitely the better phone here. Moving on, we have the most important aspect of the modern smartphone experience: OS and app performance. Both these iPhones are running iOS 16, and it runs like an absolute charm on both. Scrolling through the OS, opening up stock apps, and performing system functions like haptic touch all work flawlessly, and seeing as these phones are relatively new, I think it'll stay this way for a good while, which is nice, as longevity really does go a long way in providing some more value to your phone. In terms of more intensive performance, while both phones feature that Apple A14 Bionic processor, the iPhone 12 actually does have that additional 2GB of RAM, which can be very helpful in higher end games. Watching 4K videos on both these phones goes off without a hitch, especially enhanced by those gorgeous screens that we were talking about earlier, and seeing as both phones also feature 5G connectivity, you're unlikely to be limited by your bandwidth, which is nice. And in terms of gaming, for the games I play, both phones work flawlessly, to be totally honest with you. However, if you are into your more intense shooters, then to be honest, the iPhone 12 Pro will probably do a better job. And also, it's likely to do that better job for longer. Again, 6 gigs of RAM means that this thing does have more longevity to it, especially when it comes to high performance tasks. Overall, while both of these phones do currently work great, I would personally have more faith in the iPhone 12 Pro lasting for longer, especially in terms of more intense performance. But as for now, both work great. Okay, so quickly, going back to the hardware, we have these speakers. Both phones feature that stereo speaker technology that we first saw introduced on the iPhone 7, and while you probably won't mix a Grammy winner on these for their intended purposes of listening to music while you cook or watching videos, both of these phones work great. I've never felt the need to plug in headphones in these situations, and for me personally, this makes a great pair of onboard speakers. Finally, as always, we have the battery life. Both phones feature a battery size of 2,850 milliamp hours, and on both, everything considered, honestly, this is kinda small, especially compared to the recent offerings and the previous iPhone 11. So, how do they actually perform? Well, to be honest, they're both okay, nothing magical, but these things usually do last me the day, unless it's a heavy day, in which case I'll probably need to plug these in during the evening. To be honest, I'm not too thrilled, and if I have to pick a winner here, it's the iPhone 12, because you get a new battery, but all in all, they're very similar, and to me, that's not necessarily a pro here. Okay, so to answer the question posed at the start of this video, which of these two phones should you buy in 2023? Should you buy a new iPhone 12, or should you get a used iPhone 12 Pro? Well, honestly, that depends on what you want to prioritize. Do you want that wicked camera performance, a little bit more longevity, and the better performance? Or do you want Apple's legendary support, options for AppleCare, and a brand new battery? I honestly think these are the deciding factors, because honestly, these phones were closer than I was expecting them to be. I think both phones could be very good for certain people in 2023. I personally prefer the iPhone 12 Pro because I think it's better value for money and I love taking photos with my phone, but if you just want a phone that works and you don't have to think about it, then I definitely think the iPhone 12 is also an excellent choice. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know, by the way, which of these two phones do you prefer? Do you prefer the iPhone 12? Do you prefer the 12 Pro? Do you prefer something different entirely? Feel free to let me know in the comments. I always enjoy reading those. As for now though, as always, thank you for watching. Remember to like the video if you want to see more content like this, then smash that subscribe button. I'm done for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.